They make them, we cover them, you sell them. Welcome to OEM Update, where we talk about everything you need to know about this year's vehicle model lines. My name is Megan Cusick, editor of Motorcycle and Powersports News, and today we're going to be talking about the 2025 Honda CBR650R. Now, the CBR650R is one of Honda's sport bike models and boasts the base MSRP of $9,899. So, let's dive deeper into what exactly this motorcycle has to offer. But for that, we're going to go straight to the OEM source. Joining me today to give us an overview of the 2025 CBR650R is Colin Miller, Experiential Marketing Manager for American Honda. Colin, thank you so much for hopping on to speak with us today.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate the time and something we're super excited about with this new model, the 650, a lot of cool technology updates. So we're really glad to see it come to market.
Absolutely, yeah. And I really want to talk about that technology here. But first, can you give us a brief introduction to the 2025 CBR 650R? What type of rider is looking for this kind of sport bike?
Yeah, so this bike really falls into kind of that mid-sized sport bike range where you've probably got someone who's stepping up from a smaller bike, maybe a 300 or a 500, and they've really kind of got their experience under their belt, so they're looking for something a little bit more powerful, and just has a little bit more kind of feature-rich technology suite. But also, you're getting people who maybe are coming off something else. They're a little more experienced rider, but they've been riding they're coming back into the market. They haven't ridden in a while, but they have a fair amount of experience. So it
Yeah.
falls into kind of that mid-range category that has a lot of versatility for someone who has experience, but also someone who's kind of made the leap to the next step of experience.
Right. Okay. Very cool. All right. So circling back to that technology there. So last year, the CBR 650R debuted Honda e-clutch technology in the US, and that has continued for 2025 here. So can you tell us a bit more about this new tech and what it's enhancing on the bike?
Yeah, so I'll back up just a little bit since we introduced like our dual clutch technology years ago, right? It's been since kind of the late 2009 era was when it really started coming to our ATV line, and then motorcycles after that. And that was really kind of a fully electronic shifting system, right? The transmission actually is built a little bit different than your traditional motorcycle transmission, and it provided a lot of versatility. But we know that some people really wanted still to have the clutch lever, but
Mhm.
wanted the features of being able to shift without the clutch and everything. So the CBR 650 and CB 650 with e-clutch really provides kind of a middle ground. So the technology allows you to use the clutch lever or not use the clutch lever at any time. You can take off from a complete dead stop, not even touching the clutch lever. And the really cool part of that is that if you want to use the clutch, you still can. So it provides kind of a great in between where someone maybe who is maybe coming up and still learning some, or just doesn't want to use the clutch as much. Maybe they're commuting a lot in traffic. It really provides a versatility. So you're not constantly, releasing the clutch and working the clutch going through traffic, or just kind of that ease of, you're starting off on like a hill, something like that. So, and it works by still taking the traditional transmission from the motorcycle and just adding a control motor where the clutch actuates on the side of the engine. But at the same time, the clutch lever still operates normally. So there's the actual clutch shaft rotates kind of in two ways. So the system can do the actual clutch engagement and disengagement, or you can still use the traditional lever on the handlebars. So it's a really versatile system, and it kind of gets the best of both worlds. You can still operate it completely like a regular motorcycle, but you can also completely operate without the clutch if you want to, shifting up and down. And you still shift like a traditional motorcycle. That's always the thing. People think, oh, it's an automatic. You don't shift anymore, but you still have to shift with your left foot like you would any traditional motorcycle.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I like how you said that it's the best of both worlds because, I do know that, traditional riders, they do want that clutch, but as you said, this is, you know, kind of maybe the next step up from those entry level bikes there, and maybe there are some people who still or who don't want to work that clutch all the time, trying to bring new riders into the industry, and absolutely having more of that automatic type clutch definitely opens it up to a lot more riders.
Yeah, and it is something that we get a little bit of pushback sometimes, right? People are like, oh, it's an automatic. I don't want it automatic. But the system actually functions very much like a quick shifter.
Mhm.
So when you upshift and downshift, it is doing the exact same thing as a quick shifter would be, but at the same time, it's adding a little bit of clutch actuation at the same time. So in essence, it's a very performance-oriented shifting mechanism. So I mean, I've personally ridden it on the racetrack several times. We did kind of our media launch and gave the opportunity for people to ride it on the street as well as a racetrack. And everybody was really blown away by it was kind of wasn't what they thought it was going to be. They were thinking it was going to be more kind of beginner level situation, but you can really up and downshift freely using that system, and it is really performance based.
So obviously the e-clutch technology is a huge feature for the CBR 650R, but what are some of the other main selling points for this model?
It's an inline four, so you've got kind of that inline four sport bike power, but at the same time, you've got inverted forks, radial brakes, a lot of feature-rich technology in the LCD screen as well. So that's kind of fully customizable, giving RPMs, speed, kind of all of the relevant data. But that nice TFT display is really bright and visual, and that ties in with the e-clutch system, so it really is able to show you exactly what's going on, where you're at gear wise. A lot of the features on there are what you're kind of seeing in the market with that, that large display, plenty of power, inverted forks, radial brakes, and of course the e-clutch technology is probably one of the biggest points of it.
All right, so can you break down the bike specs for us?
Yeah, so you've got of course it's a 650 cc engine,
Mhm.
inline four. It has a kind of a steel diamond frame with a press swing arm pivot. And some of the changes we made when we updated it to this e-clutch version is we made some stiffness updates around the headstock. And it's got a 41 millimeter Showa separate function fork. So really kind of a nice comfortable setup, but still has a high performance part. And then it's got a single tube monoshock in the rear, and 310 kind of millimeter front rotors as well. So you've got the twin radial setup in the front along with the rear, and of course it's got ABS as part of the entire package as well.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Now, what have been some of the most common service issues that technicians have had to deal with in past 650 models, and have those been addressed in this version?
Yeah, I mean, not of course from Honda's side, right? Our name is reliability, right? So we really take pride in making sure that everything's tested, and really when we bring it to market, we know that we're resolving any of the issues that have come up prior. So not a lot of major concerns. Of course, we definitely keep our technicians updated with service bulletins and make sure they have all the proper technical training, especially on this new technology. So we actually did, in kind of preparation for this model coming out, we did a big dealer event where we brought our dealers out to get them the experience with the product so that they were prepared for it to come to market, because it is something new, right, technology wise. So really giving them the full experience. So haven't really had any technical issues that I've heard come up, but definitely want to make sure we keep our dealer network up to speed on the new technology.
Absolutely. All right, and now we can end on maybe a bit of a fun question here. What are some of the most popular accessories for the CBR 650R?
Oh man, so we have quite a few. I mean, you've got various, like tank bags off the front, as well as kind of rear tank or rear compartments off the rear seat. So a lot of different things. I mean, a lot of aesthetic stuff too. People can add. So the nice thing, it has kind of two versions. You've got the CBR 650R, and then there's the CB, which is kind of the naked version. So it
Okay.
really allows kind of a versatile customer base, and depending on how they're going to use it. But a lot of cool stuff, and we're really proud to kind of be able to provide those accessories and options. But I think the bags and usually kind of the additional things for for storing, keeping, whatever you're driving to work, you want to put some stuff in your tank bag or in the rear tail bag. So a lot of those items.
Well, Colin, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us about the 2025 CBR 650R.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and hope everybody gets out and gets a chance to try it.
For more information about its sport bikes or to become a Honda dealer, head to powersports.honda.com. And as always, stay tuned to MPN for more of the latest and greatest in motorcycle and powersports news.